When you trade your time for money, there's only so much you can get.
When I was 19, I was at a network marketing company.
And I saw the opportunity to, start a business with a lower barrier of entry.
And they taught me how to recruit. They taught me how to speak in front of a room.
The best part about it was the knowledge.
I learned how to present to people, right? Sit downs, belly to bellies, one-on-ones, two-on-ones. And we did all that here. We just get paid a lot more.
My check is not dependent upon Steven.
And it's a completely different business model, right?
Where is your hard work ethic going to reap the greatest ROI? Some people, if you're soccer players, you know a guy named Gareth Bale. When you know all the facts to know them.
You can do that, but I can't. Nor do I want to.
So if you were looking to serve people, give them value than anything else, you couldn't be in a better place. The only question in the equation is, will you work? Same sport, same sacrifice, different position.
My name is Stephen Yee. I am your host today. I have a special guest, my good friend, Mac Agabor, president of FFL Haven, with us in the studio today. Welcome, Mac.
Good to be here.
So we're going to have some fun today and talk about a specific industry because we were both in it. We both got our training in a network marketing companies, and which kind of gave us the skill set to thrive and make a win here. I wanted to kind of talk about that because so many people get burnt out in network marketing. They get sold a dream, as they should, because, some people make good money there. Not saying that it's not a bad thing, but what I got from network marketing was like the business philosophies, the concepts, the personal development. What didn't come with it was the income, usually.
100%.
Right? And then the obligated mandatory meetings and all that stuff. Before we get started, I wanted to dive deep into your story and Mac's a special talent that we have here at Family First Life. In your first year, you came to Family First Life and you went Hall of Fame, which basically means you protected over 400 families by yourself in 1 year. Most people don't do that in year one, let alone in their career. So just so people know how special that was, I always tell people, there's about 180 Hall of Fame producers in Family First Life since the company started. And there's 19,000 agents. So it's 0.1%. And then you look at 0.1% of Family First Life, right? And then what happens is you look at how big Family First Life is compared to the rest of the industry. It's 0.00001%, in your first year. And so, here at Family First Life, it doesn't really require any talent. It's not like we're playing soccer or basketball where you got to be a specific height and this fast and this whatever. It's just work.
Right.
Can you kind of talk about your story? In your network marketing background, what you've done, because you're a unicorn there too. Because the company where we came from, a lot of the guys that left that and came here and became really wealthy here didn't make it over there.
No, I thank you for that. And I will say this, I'm not special. I appreciate the kudos, but it's simply a matter of work, right? That's it. And I took it seriously. Just a little background. I came from Africa and, the goal is to go make it. When you come from humble circumstances, it gives you a certain perspective.
Right.
The things that we take for granted here, you are so grateful and you work harder because it doesn't exist elsewhere. And so when I came, I was in a position, my family was very vulnerable. And normally, if you're an African, you understand this, that we're Asian, school is your girlfriend and your boyfriend because that's your way out. And I was going that direction and unfortunately, we got in a situation where we needed money, badly. And, the time that it would take to reap the benefits of school, I just felt I needed it now. And that's when I got into network marketing. I was looking for opportunities. I was working. But when you trade your time for money, there's only so much you can get.
Right.
And so someone introduced me and I saw the opportunity to, start a business with a lower barrier of entry. And I got in. And like you said, the best part about it was the knowledge. And of course, luckily I was able to, make some money, but the big incomes that, you compare the sacrifices that I made, fortunately didn't show up as I wanted it to. And I look back at that and I ask myself, is it me? Is it my work ethic? And I just remember there were so many times, so many meetings that I gone to, sacrificed. And you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, is the juice worth the squeeze? Right. And the biggest challenge, if I can say this, being honest to most people, my wife, thank God I married a woman that was supportive, because you need someone supportive when you're trying to make ends meet with a dream, and sometimes the dream isn't paying the bills, but you have a vision. Right. And you can't kill the vision, because if you go to the present, then you're still left in the mire. Right. Because she was willing to believe in me, I was able to at least know one thing, that I had work ethic. And if nothing else, I got from that I was willing to do what it took. And I'll say this, for those, everything you do has a price, no matter what. Right. And the question is, where will you pay the price? And some people, you go to school for 8 years, 5 years. And so the best thing I could say is, where is your hard work ethic going to reap the greatest ROI? There are a lot of us that have been in network marketing who we've gone to the events, we've read the books, but the income isn't there yet. And it's easy to say and conclude, well, I just wasn't good enough. Maybe. But I'll give you this story, and this will kind of help out. I'm a soccer player. And for some people, if you're soccer players, you know a guy named Gareth Bale. His story is incredible. This is a guy, he came up in Wales, but he came up in England. He was in this team, and he was playing, he was a defender. That's how he got there. And he was sucking as a defender. I mean, one day some coach says, hey, let's put you in forward. This is a guy, he sucked. They put him in striker, and from there he became the #1 player in the world. Wow. He literally was traded. He was the highest paid transfer in the world. Wow. Same sport, same sacrifice, different position. Right. So I asked myself, and sometimes, and again, going back to Anna for supporting me, sometimes we have what Elon Musk called sunken cost syndrome, where we've sunk so much time in something, even if there's something better, we say, well, I've sunk so much time in it, I don't want to leave. I don't want to let it go and do something better. Right. And that's what Elon Musk said distinguishes him from so many other business owners. He doesn't care how much time he's put into something. If it's ineffective, he will squash it right now and start from scratch. Right. And so, if you're open enough to the possibility of your schooling, the time, sacrifice that you put into something, if there was a possibility of getting a bigger ROI, not only on a financial basis, but also on helping more people, is it a possibility, if you're willing to consider that's the reason that you went through that schooling? Right.
And I think a lot of people join network marketing because, they want to be a part of something. They're there to supplement income. Usually that's what they're told. And then eventually they can replace their, full-time job with what they're doing. And that sounds great. And it does work for some. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that messed me up with network marketing, Mac, was when I didn't have the results, it was well, you haven't attracted it yet, and you haven't done it yet. And I'm like, bro, I'm paying money for all these meetings, doing this, that, and the other, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then when it came to Family First Life, Sean was like, don't read, just work, and just work, and just work, and just buy leads, and you call them, and you show up, and you work, and you work, and you work. And then what was fascinating, Mac, was the whole time I thought success was attracted by the person I became. Sure, I'm not going to say it wasn't. But then I watched people here make 5 times, 10 times, 20 times professional network marketers.
Yes, sir.
And had 0 personal development.
Yep.
And at that moment, I was like, got it. There's a different way. And so for me, I say that not because I'm taking a shot at network marketing, but I felt like Steve Giordano, right, one of our top agents here, asked me this the other day. He said, with all the failures you've had in life, how did you succeed here? And I was like, well, that's a great question. I was like, well, when I was 19, I was at a network marketing company, and they taught me how to recruit. They taught me how to speak in front of a room because I ran my own meetings. Mm-hmm. I learned how to present to people, right? Sit downs, belly to bellies, mm-hmm. one-on-ones, two-on-ones, whatever they want to call it, right? And I'm like, and we did all that here. We did. Mm-hmm. We just get paid a lot more. And it's a completely different business model, right? And so I say that because, most people, the reason why they dislike network marketing is because they're obligated to recruit. Mm-hmm. They have to make a list of their friends and family and pitch them the next lotion, potion, energy drink, coffee deal, legal services, skincare product, whatever, energy drinks, anything, right? Bitcoins, binary trading, whatever, anything nowadays. And then it's like they trade that, like they have to make a list of their friends and family, and then that is their business. They have to pitch them all, and they have to do the whole, I'm brand new and I'm practicing and da-da-da-da-da. And then soon enough, like, they don't have a list.
Right. Because
by the time they get good, everybody already said no. Right?
Yeah.
And then here, what was so fascinating was, like, when Joe recruited me, I was like, dude, the product makes sense. I'd buy this if I had a home. I'd buy this if I was a senior. This all makes sense. And I was like, what do I got to do to get started? He was like, you got to get a life insurance license. And I was like, ugh. I wanted to throw up in my mouth.
Right.
And what was crazy, though, was I said, look, if you ask me for a list of my friends and family, the answer is not no, but it's F no.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was like, and if you ask me to recruit to make money, I'm not going to do it. And I'm out. And he goes, no, dude, we don't need any of that. We have leads. I was like, what are leads? He's like, people that fit out information, requesting for life insurance, and our job's to go service them. And in the, 2.5, 3 years of me selling insurance, I think I put $1 million worth of business in. Every single one of my clients did not know who I was until I got there. Not one of my friends, family, aunts, uncles, parents, none of them bought insurance from me. And they still won't, and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I say that because, like, some people joined network marketing to possibly create a supplemental income, to possibly have that lifestyle, and they didn't make it. And it doesn't mean that the industry doesn't work. It doesn't mean sales doesn't work, bettering your financial situation doesn't work. It's that they, like you said, we're in the wrong position in the wrong vehicle. And so, like, I looked at all the failures that I had, and then when I came here, the reason why I made it was because of the failures.
Right.
And so, like, the skill set that everybody was like, wow, how did you learn that so quick? It was like, because I failed at it when I was 19. That's why, And so, like, I say that because a lot of network marketers know how to do those things. They know how to do presentations. They know how to pitch the dream. They know how to recruit. They know, the value of creating a business, an organization, an agency. Can you kind of share with them, when you got recruited, you were so jaded about all those things too.
Absolutely. I remember when I came on board, I said the same thing to Joe. Do I have to talk to anyone I know? And if the answer was yes, I would have given the same answer. Right? And what gave me confidence was that I did not have to. Because if you've ever been in network marketing, one way or another, no matter what business you're in, you have to get clients. You have to market. How you do that marketing is your question. And so if you've ever been in network marketing, you have to go talk to people. Now, what's easier? People who want your information already, or people who have no idea that you're hunting them.
Right.
Right.
3-foot rule, baby.
So, and that's what I loved about what we did. When I said, wait a minute, there are people who actually went out of their way, filled a form out wanting my help. Well, where do I sign up?
Right.
And so that first gave me confidence. And then when it was a matter of, and this is one thing I'll also add as well, you have the skill level from going through the schooling of the trainings, from the personal development. One of the things that, at least for me, was a blessing in disguise was, some of you know that, I was working as a Chase banker. I was doing well at the time. I was actually one of the number one folks there, and I still couldn't pay my bills because, I came from Africa. I was helping my family here. I think we had, 4 or 5 kids at the time, maybe 6. You lose count after a couple. But I had not only to take care of my family, but I was also sending money home back to Africa.
Right.
And, taking care of my mom, my dad, a couple of different people as well, trying to help them. And there just wasn't enough to go around. So some of you know it led me to go to the oil and gas field in North Dakota. I had a client come in once from Chase, and this young 19, 20-year-old, he's depositing $10,000 a month. And I'm thinking, I know my bank account, and I'm looking at his skills, and he, I inquire, and he tells me what he does, and I eventually get there. And it was a different kind of work. In America, working 8 hours is normal.
Right.
It's regular. And, when you go to the oil field, it's almost adult minimum wage because the money you make is from overtime. It's working 15, 16 hours a day. I mean, a good check was minimum 100 hours, 120 hours. Putting that time in the oil field, that almost became normal. Like, working a lot became normal just to be able to make it. Because in America today, if you have a family, you're making less than maybe 100, it's tough. And so when I came from the knowledge from network marketing to learning that you need to have an above average work ethic if you want to succeed, I was just looking for the right vehicle where I wasn't necessarily gone all the time. It was a perfect match. And so if you're in network marketing, you come into the game and you're willing to work, I'm talking, you put the same effort you were putting in prior to, the results are night and day. Now I'll tell you this as well, with the beautiful thing about the leads is you decide your success. With network marketing, I remember just a true story, trying to get new people, driving to the gas stations, driving to the different stores, dressing up, Here, they're looking for your help. So all you need to do is just pick up the phone and dial.
Right.
How comforting is that?
Right.
I mean, how hard is that? You're just dialing people who are looking
See,
for help.
that's the thing that's fascinating. I remember when I ran out of Warner Market because I was really bad, right? And most of my friends didn't want to do this because I was like 19 and broke, and they were too, right? And they're like, well, that's fine. You can go cold market recruiting. I was like, cool, what's that? They're like, you go to the mall and you talk to people. And I'm like, I'm an introvert. Pass. And I remember like Joe, because he was my upline in marketing as well. He was like, we're going to go to a mall together. And he's like, you're going to watch me get 10 business cards. And he just walked up to random people that were working. And I still remember his line. He's like, hey, you working hard or you hardly working? And then he would pitch them on possibly making extra income, grabbing their phone number, calling them. And I'm like, dude, you can do that, but I can't. And nor do I want to.
Right.
And see, like, I look at a list of leads that someone filled out online that they might tell me to go to hell or F off once in a while because they've been called so many times, versus going to do that, talking to strangers completely out of my way. Like, you know what was nice? And I'm being facetious, but I'm serious. Going to dinner without thinking about asking the waiter to join my business.
Yes.
Like, I'm just being honest. Going to valeting my car and not asking the guy if he was open to making more money.
Yes.
Like, living life without having to do that was kind of nice, And so I say that being facetious, but like, dude, it's a different game. Because like, do we recruit? Yeah, we recruit, but we recruit at a different rate because I learned this early on. It's different when people come to you and want to work with you, then you have to go out and prospect. And here's what I mean. In the last month and a half, we've had 13,000. I said that right. 13,000 applicants into my agency. Not corporate, my agency. So, is it easier for me to call these 13,000 people and go, hey, you filled out a job board online, looking to become an insurance agent to work with our group, or go to the mall, go to a restaurant,
right,
and go bother those guys that aren't looking, that are like, here we go again. Because they've been pitched every day of the week, and you know what I mean? Or going to a gas station. You know what I mean? Like, I was so overdoing that. And so, like, I say that because here's the other thing that, no, you can speak to this because you had a bigger team in that marketing than I did for sure. Turnover. How many people had to rebuild or they left to go to another company because their team left or whatever it may be? We don't have that here.
You know what I love about this, Stephen? We keep talking about it, but the ability to be independently control your own check. Obviously, we all want to build. That's the reason we got in. But the liberation it feels knowing that my check is not dependent upon Stephen. I might recruit you into the business, but I can go help 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 families myself.
Average commission, $1,000 a pop.
$1,000 per family. I can go do that myself. And so I'm helping you from a position of power, not need.
Right.
It's just so powerful. And we look at it as well at a different standpoint. Who's going to win more? The agent who is able to do well at a high level, provide for himself and his family at a high level, who will be able to build bigger? The one who's not, and they're just trying to build little Legos on top of each other. So when you look at the industry, apples to apples, to me, it's what you call, when you know all the facts, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. The only question in the equation is, will you work?
Right.
Will you work?
Because, and it was what you talked about earlier, talking about working, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. That's normal for guys like us. But it's like for people back there, they just want the 4-hour work week.
Right. Tim
Ferriss, set up automations and walk away. And I'm like, dude, that works for some people, not most. Because most people are not smart enough to do it anyways. But I'm not saying that we don't have the ability to do that here, but it's like, dude, I know what professional insurance agents make versus professional network marketers, it ain't even close.
Not close.
Like, you can go to Google, for those of you that are watching, and go to which industry created the most millionaires in the United States? Financial services. It's not tech, it's not real estate, it's not investing, it's financial services.
And what's even crazier, Stephen, imagine you can have the best of both worlds. If you come from that industry with that background, that skill set, why not marry that skill set with the power of the financial liberation?
Right.
Now you use those same skills and you just double,
right,
triple, help more families, help more people get liberated.
And the crazy part is you don't need as big as a team.
No.
So like, I remember in network marketing, I was making like, I don't know, $1,500 a month. We had like 3,000-4,000 people on our downline. And like, now we make a lot more than that. We make more than 7 figures annually, and we have less than 250 people. So it's like, you do more with less people. Because like, the philosophy in network marketing is having a lot of people do a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that, because that comes with liability. I'd rather have a little bit of people doing a lot, so I know that everybody in my circle wins.
Absolutely.
It's a different ballgame to play.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap this up too is like, lifestyle is different. Because back then, like, you would try to show off everything you have.
So true.
Social media is a facade. People might post the cars that they rent, or the hotels rooms that they walk through but they don't stay because they can't afford it. But they'll tell you that it's theirs. And then here in insurance was like, we never needed to do any of that. Like, I would never need to take a picture of my car to try to recruit, because like almost everybody else in insurance has the same, if not better, car than I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's because like, there's no reason to brag.
It's a difference of act wealthy versus be wealthy.
Right.
And that's what I love, at least about the FFL culture. There's some other, I mean, and there are insurance agencies where they've done that in the past. Not us, at least on FFL. Because first things first, there's no scarcity here.
Yeah.
There's, again, we have leads. There's more than enough to go around. We have more people asking for help than we have agents.
Right.
And so when you generate, I mean, when you generate that much value in helping clients, you don't have to show off.
Right.
All I have to do is literally know, Stephen, do you want to do better for yourself? I have these many people looking for help. Are you willing to help them?
Right.
You know, some of them say different things requesting help. Some say I'm busy, but they didn't request the help. Some say I don't remember, but they requested the help.
Right.
And you know, and what I love about the training we go through, it tells you how to navigate. People fill these forms out because they needed help. And your job is simply to help. And if you're willing to do that, the money comes in, it's a win-win. You don't have to flaunt anything, because the best thing you can flaunt, for me, I love the fact that the clients that I help, Stephen, they get more in use value than I actually get in cash value. Let me give you an example. Remember, I was doing well. I'd been in the business, I think about 9 months, and I was doing well. I mean, people talk about me going for Hall of Fame. I didn't even know what Hall of Fame was. People kept saying, all I know is I was helping families, putting them in a better position, helping them, and the company was compensating me. I couldn't believe it. It was almost like, I better just do a couple more of these before the accounting department realizes what they're paying me, right? But I remember time had gone on, Stephen, and it became real when I remember I went to this guy's now. His name was Sixto. It was an age lead, 6-month or 9-month age lead. Called him up. He was still looking for help. Went to his house. It was him, his wife that was a stay-at-home mom for her whole life. He was the sole income earner. He had some kids there. Helped him with the policy. It was about 6 months later, I got this letter from America. Said, this client applied and we paid this $20,000 death benefit. And you know what Sixto said? I knew it was an age lead. I said, well, what? He said, no one's ever called me. Well, why didn't everyone call me? I said, that's why I'm here. And when I remember his wife, I remember his kids. And I said to myself, had I not gone there, where would they be right now? Right. And so for me, the value, there's nothing to flaunt, because we're doing a service for people. Right. And I believe if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And I think we talk about life and death. I mean, there are a lot of things we can do, health, we can do lotion, we can do all these things that are good. But guys, we're talking life and death. If you don't have your life, and if someone's life is gone, how does that affect the family? So in the scale of importance of things you could do, from my, humble but accurate opinion, I believe the life insurance industry is the way you give the most value. That's where the foundation begins, and we can add everything else later. And so if you were looking to serve people, give them value than anything else, you couldn't be in a better place.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you don't have a heart to serve, you ain't gonna make it here.
No.
If you want to think money and dollar signs and commission breath, you ain't gonna make it here.
Nope.
Because like, if I always tell people, it's like, if you want to go make money, there's like 14 million other things you can go do. Why this? But it's like here, you know, one of the most fulfilling things that we do is when we get to protect the client, like you said, or be able to, you know, have a client that got in, you know, that wasn't able to get insured by all the other competitors that we have, but then we will insure them because we have so many products that we work with, and they hug you and they like thank you and they cry with you. I'm like, dude, I never got that in network marketing, because most network marketing products is overpriced.
Yeah, it has to be.
In order to be able to pay the compensation plan, right? And so like here, whether you're my friend or my family or not, everybody's on the same price, because it's not based on if I know you or not, and it's not overpriced because it's an actuary table.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that, man. Well, Mac, I appreciate you for coming in, and if people wanted to reach out to you and be able to join your team and learn how to transition from being a network marketer to an insurance agent, how would they be able to get a hold of you?
Text me direct, 520-526-3672.
One more time.
Again, that's 520-526-3672.
And if you actually want to know what he made, because we can't say it on camera, just text him. He'll tell you. And he has proof, I promise. So, hey, I appreciate you guys for listening in, and we'll see you guys at the top.